She's beautiful.
She knows it.
My gosh. Murphy, we were just gushing about you. Your mom was like telling your meet cute story. Oh
What?
my
She made a
goodness.
good impression. She made such a good impression.
Welcome back, Pawdience, to My Cat Calling, the podcast for cat people by cat people. I'm Srimoyee. I'm a comedian, writer, designer, and cat mom to this golden bachelor, Prince Gary. If you haven't yet, join our Pawdience. Follow us everywhere on social at My Cat Calling and subscribe to our channels wherever you get your podcasts. We would very much appreciate your support to help grow this indie podcast. If you know a cat lover who might like what we're shedding out, share this episode with them. Spread the purd. It's time for our mood check for today. How are you doing today, Prince Gary? He's eating a little of this cat sushi. Not sponsored, but open to money. He loves this cat sushi. They're like bonito flakes. Loves it. All right, witches, it's time for our cat tarot segment of the week. As always, I'm using the deck by Megan Lynn Cott. Want to put a little energy into them, Prince? Always has to smear the spit. Want to smear your energy on them? Oh, we've got the Eight of Swords. This card is short on subtlety, but long on symbolism. Sweet release. Whatever's been binding you is loosening its hold. You may find that those bonds are as flimsy as toilet paper. There's definitely a way out. With self-acceptance, a fair bit of healing, perhaps aided by just a little gnawing through the bonds, possibility and opportunities abound. Well, as always, I feel like the tarot segment is all about Prince trying to steal food. So that's the binds that he's currently in. He's always trying to steal food from his little sister. And we have baby gates put up now. So he goes into jail when she's eating. And he does not like that. So he's always trying to break his way free. So sorry, Prince. That might be the card for you, but things are not going to change. Next up, the cat thread segment. This week is a video from Lil Fluffs. Take a look. This is such a good camera angle. Wonder how they... Like, is it a glass table? Or is it just like under the cup? The cat does not notice. I wonder if the cat, if he can see himself, herself, themselves. Oh my god. Looks like a lion. Prince, are you watching this? Look, that could be you if you drank water out of a glass. The eyes are like squinting. This is all just pure primal instinct. That was great. Oh man. Yeah, that reminds me of a friend's cat. A friend's cat only drinks water out of a glass cup. So shout out to Jenner and Bobby. We've got such a great guest for you today. She is a Los Angeles-based artist, and through her illustrated goods brand, Srimoyee Handmade, she has raised over $18,000 for animal rescue. She lives with her husband, young son, and tortie cat in Pasadena. Please enjoy this episode with Srimoyee and her cat, Murphy.
Thanks so much for having me.
This is really exciting. I've been following your work since I've been connected with Tailtown. I found you through them, and I love your art so much. And I must know, have you always been a cat person?
I I really love, like, all animals, like, even just, like,
Okay.
lizards, but I have this special, I don't know, like, connection to cats and just, like, joy that I get from being around cats, so cats are super special to me, so I guess, yeah, I would consider myself a cat person.
What is your history with cats?
Yeah, so, I think I first got close with cats when I would, so I'm of, Indian origin, and so as a kid, I would go to India to visit my grandma and aunts and uncles, like, every other year when I was in elementary school, and
Mm.
there was a little family of community cats who would always come by my grandma's house when I was, oh gosh, like 6 or 7, and I just loved playing with them. I loved playing with their kittens. I loved feeding them, and yeah, I think that's when I just started really falling in love with cats, and that's when, I think I realized we had a special bond.
That sounds like you've always been a cat person then, if you were, like, from a small age, just, like, really entranced by them. It seems
Yeah.
like you've always recognized their magic.
Yeah, oh my god, they're just so, like, magical, but also, like, sure of themselves, and, like, also they have
Yeah.
such different personalities, and it's just, I don't know, I feel like
Mhm.
it's such a privilege when you have a cat love you. It's just like, "Oh my god, like, how did I
It
do?"
really is. It really, really is. There's no feeling like
Oh
it, and you're a
my god.
mother, so you know. There's
Sure.
something really special about a cat, like,
Yeah, oh, absolutely,
babies generally
absolutely.
love you, if you're if you're the mother.
Yeah, but no, with a cat, it's just like if they start giving you attention, you're like, "Oh, I earned it."
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah. So, what is the attitude toward cats in India?
Yeah,
How do they view
that's a
them?
great question, and I also just wanna, like, caveat that I haven't really, I don't know, really gotten to hung out with cats in almost, like, 20 years, so I haven't been back in a while, but
Okay.
at least when I was back there, so I'm from a part of India, where they're near the western coast, and so actually culturally, they eat a lot of fish, so there's always,
Mm,
like, a lot of fish, like, in, like, your daily dishes, there's fish markets, things like that, and so there's always, like, a lot of community cats who, like, live in the fish markets or who just, like, know, like, cats know their schedules, will, like, come by around meal times, like, looking to eat fish,
yeah.
and so, I think it really depends, like, family to family, like, where I think cats are almost, like, kind of more part of, at least, like, when I was there in Kolkata, but, like, they would sort of, like, they were kind of almost like street animals. I know that's not, like, the really kosher name for them, but they were just kind
Mm,
of, like, outside, and then they would sort of come in, and then it was sort of more family to family dependent on how they were received. So,
mm,
I don't know what my grandma really thought of the cats, but my cousin and my uncle really loved them, so they would always set aside food for them, and then, like, if it was
mhm.
raining, they would, like, let the cats in and make sure they had, like, a nice warm place to stay. So it wasn't so much as, like, having them as part of your family, but more sort of like having them as, like, little visitors who would come by, like, once or twice a day.
Yeah, and, like, caring for like, they're part of the community
Mhm.
and,
Yeah.
having a shared responsibility for
Yeah.
the outdoor community.
Yeah, exactly, like, if they weren't, like, feeling well, like, giving them a little place to recover, but I think even the cats themselves, like, I think they would to maximize their food, I don't think they would stop, like, just stay with one house, like, I think they knew the meal times for
Mm.
all the houses, so they would go get their foods and go house to house, so they were definitely neighborhood cats more than, like, belonging to one family.
Yeah, that's really that's interesting. I spent some time in Thailand and,
Mhm.
I learned about, like, the monks in
Mm.
Thailand. They, like,
Yeah.
go around and they like, the community, like, leaves out not that I wanna compare monks to, like, street cats, but, like, the
Yeah.
attitude of, like, kindness and, like, just sharing and the community that builds,
Yeah.
where you feel, like, a sense of, like, "Yeah, I wanna contribute. I wanna be like, have a little responsibility for offering something to this whether it be a person or an animal." I think
Yeah,
that's really cool.
exactly. Exactly, like, it kind of just got sort of built into, like, the daily routine of, like, okay, well, like, I think it even got to a point where, like, they would, like, leave, like, my family would leave, like, little bowls of, like, food and, like, fish and stuff like that, fish and rice for, like,
Mhm.
the cats, because they knew, like, okay, then the cats will come by and then, like, they'll eat, so then, like, we'd have our mealtime and the cats would have their mealtime whenever they'd come visit.
I love that, that's really beautiful.
Yeah, I know. So it was really
Yeah.
lovely just playing with the cats, and then because I would visit every 2 years, I would definitely see, like, the generations of cats. So, like, we would have, like, 1 cat, and then I would, got to know her daughter and got to know her granddaughter
Yeah.
over time. Like, definitely was really close to that one family of cats that would always stop by my grandma's house.
Aw, that's so beautiful. Did they have any kind of, like rescue services offered there, or it was
I
just
was
kind of
I
like
wasn't aware of anything like that there, so
okay,
yes, I'm not sure.
okay. Yeah, that's interesting. I wonder if that is available now. I know
Yeah,
some
yeah.
places it's really, like, a problem.
Yeah, no, I wonder 'cause I also feel like at least from, so my in-laws, they're also of Indian origin, and it feels a lot like the attitudes towards animals are changing in a positive way, where,
Mm,
definitely, like, thinking more about their welfare and happiness, and so I wonder how things have changed, like, since 20 years ago or, like, more than 20
mm,
years ago when I was, interacting with the cat, so I think I'm optimistic that things have gotten better, but I'm not sure.
mm. When did you start to paint animals?
Yeah,
Was
yeah,
it
so
when you were small?
it was, yeah, so I definitely, I always really just, like, loved painting and making art, and I had this big parrot phase, like, when I was a kid, and so I really loved
Really?
yeah, I had this huge bird phase, as a kid. Oh, but then just kind of, like, being from an immigrant family, there was a lot of pressure to kind of go more into STEM, and so that's sort of what I did for my career training, but then, mm, I think, I was really sort of struggling with, like, feeling fulfilled with my career, and that's kind of when, I started to go back to more seriously painting, and I was actually really intimidated by painting animals at first, and so the first time I kind of, started more seriously painting animals was I got a commission request for a family friend's dog, and I remember being so nervous painting this really sweet dog, and I spent a lot of time on it. It came out really well, and so then once I painted that dog, I started getting more requests for more animal portraits, and I was just like, "Oh my god, like this is so hard, but I'm just gonna do it." And, slowly over time, I got more and more comfortable, and then rather than just feeling kinda scared the entire time I was painting, I was actually enjoying it more, and then,
Mm,
yeah, and then as I started expanding my illustrated goods brand, I started painting more animals, and I was able to just kind of capture that joy again of just, like, making those parrots when I was a kid, with painting all
yeah.
sorts of different animals, and so now it's become really fun for me, and yeah, I'm just really, really loving it.
So what about it made you nervous or intimidated
Yeah,
to
that's a
start?
great question. I was just worried it looked bad. Like, I was just worried
Really?
it wasn't good, yeah, and I think that I don't know, I think there's, like, a lot of, like, mental block that can come when you're painting, and I think it's also hard too when you're, like, kind of in this world of, like, social media, there's always, like, comparing and things like that, and so I was just really worried, especially since I was doing commissions, and so I was doing, like, like an animal, like a very cherished and loved animal versus some, like, abstract animal that, I didn't wanna disappoint whoever
Mm,
was asking for it, and so I think I was really scared and nervous when I was first painting, but I think, like, over time I don't know, over time, I realized that there's actually a lot of beauty when it comes to kind of, like, imperfection or even just, like,
mm,
developing your own art style, like, I wouldn't say my art style is super realist, like, it's kind of maybe in between sort of more like an illustrative style and realism, and I think that just kind of makes it fun because then you're able to, like, add things that add little bits of personality or add things that kind of, the things that give it more charm than just, like, a photograph or something like that, and I think once I realized that, I started enjoying painting a lot more.
so
Yeah.
I would describe your style as very whimsical and childlike, not in a way of, like, lack of talent, but just with the fun playfulness that your
Yeah, yeah.
illustrations bring.
Yeah, yeah, I think that thank you, that's definitely that's definitely what I'm trying to
Y
achieve. Yeah, I think it's just I think something I really wanna do with my work isn't be like, "Oh, wow, that looks exactly like a picture." It's more so like, "Oh,
yeah,
this, like, makes me
not
smile, like,
photoreal.
this makes me happy," you know? And so yeah, that's definitely, what I'm trying to achieve more with my art.
I'm a designer and, an artist as well. I
Mhm,
went to art school as my
mhm.
background,
Oh,
and I totally, like, empathize with, like, I guess, like, the people that do, like, the really photoreal illustrations, and there's, like, some kind of desire when you're doing a commissioned work to want it to look, like, recognizable as, the cat or, whatever. Like, I've done, people's portraits before,
mhm.
and so there is something that's like, this has to look, like, perfect and,
Yeah.
I want them to really enjoy it, and I think like you said, like letting go of like the total like realist aspect of doing a commissioned work and kind of giving it your own twist. That's what makes something really special. And I think that's what people really like because, anyone can take a photo of
Yeah,
something and,
yeah.
like you just have a photo then if you want it to look exactly like that. But, the charm and the individuality of someone's illustration, I think, is what makes getting a commissioned work so special.
Yeah, exactly. And then I think the other thing that's also been kind of interesting for me is I think I'm pretty hard on myself when I'm painting. And
Mm.
actually, one of my designs, which is like by far been my most popular, best selling design. I remember after I painted it, I was like, oh God, like this just, I don't know. Like, okay, like I knew I needed to get basically it's this work, it's called Pizza Party. And so the design itself is it's a little table and there's like a cat sitting in the middle and then it's surrounded by kind of like Los Angeles wildlife. Like they're all sitting at a table and they're all eating pizza. And so I had idea for it for a while and I painted it to be part of an art show. And so I was just like trying to finish it before the deadline. I remember painting it and I was just like, oh man, I don't like this, but this is due. And like I just got to turn it in. And yeah, it's just become my absolute, like, best-selling work, like, pizza parties, like, responsible for most of my income, and it's really interesting too where, like, things that you're really, like, hypercritical of, like, how that can actually be something that really resonates with people, and it's funny because like, my husband and I were talking about it, and, like, yeah, there's, like, little quirks about, like, the painting where, like, there's individual pizzas, but then, like, the raccoon has his own pizza, but the other ones don't, and so at first I was like, "Oh, no, I didn't evenly space them out," but, like, I don't know, it's also just, like, little charming things like, well, the raccoon maybe took one for himself, and so, like, so it's just
Yeah.
things that you don't really realize, you never know what'll actually, like, resonate with people, so I think that's also kind of helped me too, where if, like, I might think something, like, doesn't look good, but then others might really, really like it, you know? And I've also
Mhm.
had the opposite happen where I'm like, "Oh, this is great," and then it, like, hasn't done well, and so you never really
Yeah.
know how things will do once they're out in the world.
Yeah, that's absolutely like, you don't know what's gonna resonate, and anytime you
Mhm.
create something, it's just kind of like it becomes not yours anymore, and, like,
Exactly,
like,
exactly.
whatever life it takes on after that, that's, like, up to, the gods or whatever,
Yeah, no,
it's
yeah,
not yours,
yeah.
you
Yeah,
just
you
kind
just have
of
to, like,
birth
let it
it and
go.
send it
Yeah.
out.
Yeah, exactly, exactly.
Yeah, I love that. So, how has it been running a small business with a young child?
Oh my gosh, yeah, so that has been a journey, and so I think when I was pregnant, I was also just, like, really anxious about what it would mean for my small business, what it would mean in terms of, like, how I would divide time, like, would I still be able to run it? And I had a really wonderful mentor that I spoke with who's also a business owner and has young children, and she said, like, the way I look at my small business is like that's my other baby. And so like I also need to nurture this other baby and that's okay. And I think the biggest change that's sort of come with motherhood and running a small business is just being okay with letting go of control and letting go of perfection. And just good
Mhm.
enough is okay. And as long as you show up a little bit each day, like that's okay. I was actually pretty sick throughout most of my pregnancy. And so I was really fatigued. I was like not feeling well. And so I definitely wasn't as, productive as I wanted to be, but I'd still show up in little bits for my small business, but even that made me like super concerned. And then I
Mhm.
was, fortunate enough that when my son was really little, I was able to take like a full kind of maternity leave and step away from the business for about a year or so. But then something that was really important to me, kind of in terms of like raising my child and raising my son, was to kind of show him that, women can achieve their goals and achieve like what they want to. And that's something that's definitely been at the forefront as I've kind of restarted my small business and started working on it more. And yeah, I'm also just really grateful also to my husband too, where this is also a big goal for him where, there are certain sacrifices I have to make. Like for instance, this last weekend I was doing a market in the Bay Area. And so I was away from my family for about 4 days and my husband did all of the childcare.
Mhm.
And, right now my son's in a very, like, attached to mama kind of phase, but, like, it's good that I
Mm.
can spend having conversations with him where he's like, "Well, she's working hard and she's pursuing her goals, and, like, I miss mama too, but, we really wanna support mama, and, like, loving mama means supporting
Mm,
ways." And so I think these are really good lessons, hopefully for him, but I think conversely, like, I think it's also making changes or being okay with changes or moving at, like, a slower pace. Like, so for instance, like, when my son started going to, like, preschool daycare, like, poor guy, it was like his immune system was being hit with so many different things, and so,
mm,
yeah, I had to, like, cancel big markets on short notice because, like, he needed me. He needed me to take care of him, like, when he was feeling sick, or there's certain things that I've now optimized where I think the worst feeling I think I have, like, running a small business and being a mom is when I'm at a market that's slow and I'm like, "Oh, I could be at home with my baby right now," and
yeah,
instead I'm just, like, sitting here. And so, like, I think with that, I've learned a lot of lessons, but I've also made a lot of changes where, like, I only take a certain amount of markets for the month, or right now I really try to minimize, like, full day markets, and so instead actually, one of my favorite markets is the Hollywood Farmers Market because that one's 8 to 1, and yeah, it's an early start, but then I get the afternoon with my kid. And so it's, like, little
yeah,
changes that I've made over time, and it looks very different from how I was running my business before having kids, but it also feels much more sustainable and much more fulfilling because now I'm not, like, hustle, 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 but instead I'm doing it in ways where it's almost like running a marathon where it's, like, slow and steady, but I'm still making time for things that are important for me. Wanted to kind of maximize time with my kid, and so, like, on the
yeah,
weekends, like, I prefer, like, these morning ones versus, like, an all-day one because then I don't get any time with him.
yeah. Yeah, that, like, totally makes a lot of sense, and even, like, I started this podcast, like, a little like, 9 months after having
Wow.
a baby, and, like, it's just something that, like, I've had to really learn, like, what's important, and, like,
Mhm.
as much as you want to, like, model, like, "Yeah, I have a creative outlet, and, like, mommy can, like, do things too," like, I've really had to learn, like you said, that letting go of perfection and just, like,
Yeah.
knowing, like, however you show up is gonna have to be good enough,
Yeah.
and sometimes, like, I'm running late, or, I don't have, like, I'm not, like, fully prepared, or, like, but I always have to prioritize my daughter. And,
Yeah, absolutely.
as much as you wanna, like, modify, like, where you can, like, there's, like, a line that you have to draw as a mother that's like, "Okay, like, my child comes first, and, like, yeah, this is a great, like, passion and all, but, like, are they okay?
Oh,
And are their needs
absolutely.
met?" Yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely, and it's just I wish, like I don't know, because I look back at kind of how I was before having kids and even just, like, seeing other parents in my life and, like, looking back, I was like, "Oh, I wish I gave people more grace." So I hope there's more dialogue on, like, especially, like, when you have kids or, like, young kids, sorry, like, they're the priority, and so and
Mhm.
something that I have really appreciated is just, like, meeting other moms and, like yeah, and it's just like, "Oh my god, completely fine." Like, 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 completely understand when, like, if you need to, like,
Mhm.
cancel last minute or you're running late or, like, it's just not gonna happen because like, yeah, you're like, because you've been there yourself, and so I
Yeah.
think really nice, like, getting the grace from, like, other parents, like, as you're trying to sort of manage everything with having, like, a young child.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, kudos to you for, like,
Oh,
keeping up
thanks.
with your with your small business and doing like, markets are tough,
Oh, yeah.
especially in LA, they're really tough. I've never done them myself, but I have a friend who has done, like, she does, like, a lot of, like, the Comic Cons and a
Oh,
lot of, like,
yeah.
markets around, it takes a lot of energy and work and prep.
Well, thank you. Thanks. Yeah, I think I've also just been so my business is gonna turn 5, actually this Sunday. And so
Oh,
I think
wow.
yeah, thanks. And I think I've also been fortunate where I think now I'm in a good groove where I've found markets that are like good organizers, good load in, good load out, good sales. And so it's been so I feel like I like to think I've become a little bit more efficient, but I definitely actually my first year when I started seriously doing markets, my son, he might have been, like, around, like, 1 and a half, It was hard because I was definitely, like, grinding, and I was, like, doing these markets, and maybe sales weren't coming in, and it was just, like, so stressful. So right now, I'm really, like, proud that I've been able to find, like, a set of really good ones that just really work for where I'm at in my life right now.
That's really good. It's so refreshing. It's, like, such a good place to be in where you can finally find your groove.
Yeah, 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 for sure, for sure. I think it helps that he's a lot more, independent too. So I think it's
Yeah.
definitely that makes a big difference. So kudos to him as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So, let's talk about your cat, or your current cat.
Murphy!
How
Yeah.
how did you meet Murphy?
Murphy! My goodness, sweet Murphy. So I guess before we talk about Murphy, I would talk a little bit about Morris. He was my first cat because that kind of leads into
Okay.
how we met Morris. But yeah, so Morris was my husband and I's first cat. Loved him very much. Sadly, lost him much too soon to cancer when he was about
Oh.
8. And it was very sudden, like how we lost him. So we were, anytime you lose a pet, it's so hard. And so we were definitely grieving him, and at the time, we were living in the Bay Area, and I was just really looking for ways to kind of fill the huge hole in my heart that I had after losing
Mm.
Morris. And San Francisco SPCA, I think they still have this, but they have this wonderful cat socializer program. And so it's basically you're a volunteer, and your job is to just kind of sit with the cats and like give them pets and give them brushes. And the goal of that program is to like help cats realize, especially those that have been in like bad situations, that people can be really kind and wonderful, and kind of help them sort of warm up so they can help like find their future homes. And so I was coming in to kind of learn about that program, and then I saw her, and she was this like big fluffy little like brown ball, and like a little like just like curled up, and she was just so beautiful, and I was just like, who's this beautiful cat? And I think she had just come in, and so I remember, they were saying, like, "Oh, she's not available for adoption yet, but, she's so gorgeous, like, I think she's gonna go soon." So I remember
Yeah.
I showed up, like, 30 minutes before, like, the adoption facility opened. I was just waiting outside because I wanted to be first in line to, like, meet and adopt sweet Murphy. And yeah, and I met her, and she did this thing. It was so sweet because like, I went in and I met her, and she, like she did this thing where, like, she rubbed my hand, and then she flopped to the side so I could give her pets, and I was like, "Oh my god,
Oh.
this baby." And so, yeah, she was 4 months old, and now she's 8. She's actually, like, right over here. I might go get her in a second. She's just sleeping right next to
Yeah, if you could
me.
call her over.
Is Murphy. This is Murphy, my dog.
Oh, she's beautiful.
He knows it.
My gosh. Murphy, we were just gushing about you. Your mom was, like, telling
Thank
your meet cute story. Oh
What?
my
She made a
goodness.
good impression. She made such a good impression.
Love at first sight. Wow, she's gorgeous.
Thank you, thank you. I wonder if she'll stay or if she'll leave. Maybe I'll put her here. Let's see if she stays. She might head out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's alright, that's alright. We're blessed for any crumbs that we can get of a visit from
Alright, see you,
her.
Murphy. Bye, Murphy girl.
Yeah, I know. Prince comes and goes on his own terms. Now he wants to be back. He's like,
Sweet
"Alright, I wanna be."
kitten. Yeah, I just want those little scratchies. Oh my god, look at
Yeah,
his
he
face.
usually, like, gets down but now he's like, "I wanna be back. I wanna
I
be
love
hug."
his face. Look at his sweet face. Oh my
Oh, he has
god.
such a sweet
Such a
face.
sweet face. Oh, you know it.
Oh,
You know it.
yeah, he knows. He's like, "Oh, this is good. This is a
Yeah.
good spot."
Yeah. God.
Oh, Murphy.
She's so funny because, like I said, I was just out of town for a market in the Bay Area, and it's so funny because when it's, like, just my husband and our son, Murphy just decides, like, she's the house manager and she has to manage him, and so, like, every time he has to do a chore, she'll, like, show up and start meowing at him and be like, "Okay, you need to get up. Okay, you need to feed me. Okay, like, baby's crying, you need to get him. Like, okay, now you gotta get
Yeah,
him dressed," and it's so funny because she's just, like, managing.
such a great manager.
He's
That's
such a good manager,
hilarious.
and he's just like,
She's your
he never does this
assistant.
when I'm at home. He's just like, "Keep on, I'm in charge."
She's like she knows that a woman runs things
I
for
know, yeah,
sure.
she's like, "Okay, yeah, now I'm the woman of the house."
Yep, that's so funny.
She's
My
so funny, and then
gosh.
it's also good too because I like to say Murphy likes to make sure we have work-life balance because, she has
Mhm.
this little part of her routine is, like, at night, she likes to sit on the couch and, like, watch TV with us, and so if, like, I'm working or my husband's working, she'll just meow at us and be like, "What are you doing? Like, it's TV time, like, excuse me."
Yeah, like,
And so we're like,
"Let's clock
"Okay,
out, guys."
we need to rest too." And so
Yep.
so she definitely makes sure that we're, having a sustainable place versus, like, a really hustle one.
Yeah, she's like, "Don't burn out, because
Burn
then,
out.
you're not
Yeah,
gonna
no,
have
give me
enough
cat
time to pet
food,
me."
like
Yeah. Good for Murphy. Cats are
Murphy,
so
yeah.
wise.
So wise, like, she's so, yeah, she's just, like, so smart, and she's just so wonderful. I think the other thing too is, like, so in 2025, we lost our house in the Eaton fire, and, when
Oh,
we
wow.
evacuated, we were staying at my friend's guest house, and what was like a unexpected moment of joy was, like, that was Murphy's vacation, like, she was living it up.
Wow.
Because in the guest house, she had her own, like, little, like, sunny patch, and then my friend, has chickens, and she had a window where she could look out at the chickens, and so she would look
Wow.
out at the chickens, and, like, my friend would get wildlife. She, like, made friends with a possum, and so, like, while we were going through this really traumatic period, Murphy was just, like, living her best life. Like, she's like,
Murphy's
"I'm
like,
on
"I don't
vacation.
know what y'all are worried about,
I
but
don't
this
know why
is
you guys look
great."
stressed, like, I'm having a great time."
Oh my
And
god.
it was really nice just to see Murphy having so much fun, like, during our evacuation
That's
period.
that's honestly great
Yeah.
emotional regulation,
Oh my
because that's
god,
why
no,
pets are so
absolutely.
good, because, like, we can be going through, like, such emotional turmoil and so much drama in our lives, and they're like,
Yeah.
"I have no idea what you're doing, but I'm
Yeah,
just
she was just like, "Okay, it
gonna."
looks like we've moved here, and it looks great.
Yeah.
Like, I love this new house.
Yeah.
Like, this is my new house." Just
Yeah. "I'll claim this, like, window spot over here.
Oh
You
my
guys can each sleep
god. It's
wherever."
funny because like, so we were staying in this, like, kind of guest house just to kinda keep Murphy away from the other animals, not to stress anyone out, and, like, this one night, my friend was walking her dog in her backyard, and she saw there was, like, a window, and Murphy was on one side and a possum was on the other side. They were just sitting together, and she's like, "I feel like I walked in on their date, like, I feel bad."
Yeah.
Making friends, meeting chickens,
Yeah.
like, resort vacation while we're trying to figure out what to do next.
Oh my gosh. That's such a blessing to have that, like,
Yeah.
little moment of joy.
Oh, no, absolutely, and, like and also just, like, thinking a lot about how our community really came through for us. Actually, Tailtown, which who I know you've worked with, they
Yeah.
were so wonderful to us, in the period after the fire where they, like, got things for Murphy, but then Murphy's also she has a kind of special health condition where she's allergic to both seafood and poultry, which is, like, basically
Oh.
what's in, like, all cat food. They were getting a lot of donations, and so they would actually hold back food that had different protein types for Murphy.
Oh.
And so, yeah, so even though, like, we were getting a lot like, because people were just, like, so wonderful and generous, we were getting a lot of, cat food, but Murphy couldn't eat it just because of her allergies, and so,
Mhm.
but, yeah, so we were just so happy that Tailtown not only was able to give us what we needed, but also just really accommodate Murphy's dietary restrictions and really take special care of her. So they were so wonderful to us after the fires.
Oh, love Tailtown. They're so
Yeah, they're
great. Oh
great.
my
They're
gosh,
so
that's
great.
amazing.
Yeah, yeah, they're wonderful.
Well, how did you learn about Murphy's allergies? Because I've been
Yeah.
looking into, like, possibly, like, I think Prince might have, like, a chicken allergy.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, basically, Murphy would get really itchy, and she would get little scabs on her, ears, and so I think at first the doctor was like, "Okay, let's do kind of like an elimination diet." I think we removed seafood first and then
Mhm.
realized that she was still getting the allergies, and then once we removed poultry, then she started, like, recovering, like, she wasn't as itchy anymore. She's still a
Mm.
little allergy prone, like, she sometimes gets a little itchy, but I've noticed because I mean, it's just, like, poultry and seafood are in everything, and so it's, like, hard to, like,
Yeah.
eliminate it, but like, especially with treats and stuff like that, like, it's really hard
Yeah.
to put, like, a non-poultry treat, but I've noticed, like, if she's eating a lot of treats, she'll get itchy again and stuff like that, so I think that's
Mm.
how we had to kind of eliminate it, and then we were able to figure out that she was actually allergic to it.
Okay. Yeah, Prince doesn't get itchy, but well, kind of. He had an infected paw last week and like
Oh,
his
yeah.
nail like wasn't like retracting and like it wasn't like moving, like it was stuck like out
Oh my
and like
gosh.
poking into his pad. So I didn't really know like what caused that and I
Yeah.
was just like doing a Google search and
Yeah.
I had given him some like new treats that were chicken
Mm.
flavored.
Yeah.
It was, like, a kind that he hadn't had before, and he
Yeah.
got, like, really bad vomiting, really bad diarrhea,
Oh,
and then, like, in
yeah.
tandem with that was, like, his nail infection.
Yeah.
So, I kind of, like, just asked the vet, like, "Is this something that he could possibly be allergic to and
Mhm.
have an allergy to chicken?"
Mhm.
And she said, "Yeah, it's, like, that's, like, a really common
Yeah.
allergy." So, I don't
Yeah.
know,
Okay.
yeah, she gave a prescription for, like, a sensitive digestion
Mhm.
food. It's really expensive,
Yes.
but we're gonna try it out and
Yeah,
just see.
we should talk more too, 'cause, like, I think that's the hard part is just, like, a lot of these foods are so expensive, but I've been able to kind of, like,
Mhm.
find some that aren't as expensive or, like, more sustainable, especially, like,
Okay.
these diets. So, yeah, definitely, I can give you some recommendations after our
Yeah, yeah. Let's talk
Yeah,
offline about
yeah,
that
yeah,
for sure.
we'll talk about that. Yeah, yeah, so I'm definitely happy to help there since we've been through our own journey with Murphy. How's Prince doing?
Yeah.
Like, look at his face. Sorry, I keep
He's
looking
doing a lot better. Like,
Yeah.
he had some antibiotic that he was or yeah, I think it was an antibiotic he was on, which was awful to give him,
Oh,
but he's doing a
yeah.
lot better. His paw is good.
Good,
They, like, cleaned
good.
it out,
Oh,
so
good.
he's much happier, but he was just, like it was to the
Oh
point where he wasn't
god.
even eating his
Oh,
regular
no.
food. He
Oh,
was just, like
sweetheart.
he lost a pound of
Oh,
weight. It was just really,
oh,
really,
oh,
really sad.
that sounds really hard. I'm glad he's doing
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
doing so much better, and I'm so grateful because he's a senior.
Looking at his sweet face. Oh my
I
gosh,
know, he's got
sweet
such a sweet
guy.
face. I know. Well, I'm so sorry to hear that you lost your home in the fires
Yeah,
last year.
thanks for saying that. Yeah, it's definitely it was so sudden. Like, I think we were really lucky where I had, a mom friend who actually reached out to us because we had no idea that it was gonna happen, and then we lost power and cell service. So then we just with abundance of precaution, we evacuated pretty much earlier than a lot of our neighbors, but I mean, I so feel for, like, my neighbors who, because I think our part of Altadena didn't get an evacuation notice until, like, literally, like, 1 hour before stuff started burning, which is, like, so crazy and intense.
Mm, yeah.
But I think our community's really come together, and I've gotten a lot closer with my neighbors and people on my street, and then actually some good news is that we're hoping to start construction in maybe, like, a few weeks or so, so we're really excited
Oh.
for that, and I think I'm gonna get my I have this dream of, have making a catio for Murphy. I think it's gonna happen. I think it's
Uh,
gonna happen, so definitely trying to make the best out of this really hard
yes.
but I
Murphy
have a little
deserves
patio
that.
situation for Murphy so she can just
Yeah.
enjoy some fresh air, but still be safe, and so because we do get a lot of
Mhm.
coyotes and stuff, so, I definitely
Yeah.
want her to be safe, but I'm
She can
excited
make
for her, a little upgrade for
Yeah, she can make
Yeah.
friends with the local possum again.
Oh my gosh. The other really sweet thing about our neighborhood is we had this flock we still have this flock of, like, 40 peacocks that lived, like, a block away, and the peacocks are okay, like, oh my gosh, I was so worried about them.
Good,
Somehow, like, are fine, and, like, the tree that they live in is fine, it wasn't impacted. But what
good.
was really sweet is that there was this one peacock who would come by our house and, like, kind of similar to the possum, like, him and Murphy would just, like, sit outside for hours. They would just, like, sit, like it was just so, like, meditative too. It's like that friend you have that you don't really need to talk to, but you can just, like, sit with
Mhm.
them. So, yeah, they would just sit across the window, hours together, and then the peacock would leave, and then he would, like, regularly come and visit Murphy, and so he was Murphy's little peacock friend. So Yeah, we're really hoping that she
So
can spend some
magical.
time with her little peacock friend once, yeah, once we're back home. Because yeah, the peacocks are doing good. I'm so happy that they're okay. And then I'm actually yeah, I guess this is a more, like, plug for my business and stuff, but I'm actually there's an author who's putting together an anthology of stories about the fire, and so I'm gonna be writing one of the stories, and the story I'm writing about is a little comic about the peacocks and how important they were in our lives and how, they're still there, and so that's gonna be coming out. The anthology is called We Are LA, and then my story is called The Peacock Tree, and that's coming out, I
Aw.
believe, I think the print version's gonna come out towards the end of this year, and the digital version's gonna come out sometime later this year. So I'm really excited for that. And there's one of the
Super
pictures is
exciting.
Murphy sitting with the peacock. So I'm glad to
Oh,
just capture that forever, you know?
I love that. That's so
Yeah.
I'm so excited to see that and
Thank you.
get a copy.
Yeah, yeah, I'm excited for it too. Yeah, that's also been the another sort of unexpected nice thing because with losing our house, I also basically lost everything related to the business. And so I was also
Mm,
just able to get so much community support, but also some opportunities that kind of came out of just
yeah.
from the fire. And so I was able to restart my business, restart getting things done, but then also, yeah, I was able to participate in this. And then actually, this past Christmas, the LA Times reached out to me because they did a feature of artists who were impacted by the fires. And I was able to design a little kind of spread. They used it for their tradition as gift wrap, and Murphy's in there too. So yeah, so Murphy's
Wow,
making
Murphy.
appearances everywhere. Yeah. So it has,
Oh, that's
Murphy and,
great.
all of our neighborhood wildlife, like peacocks, raccoons, possums, bears, and then it's also Murphy, and then we also had another cat who I thought was a community cat, but actually was my neighbor's cat, who would, trick me into thinking, he needed to be fed, and then later I realized he was so smart, he would take his collar off before coming to my house, and then he would, and then his own his mom would find his collar later, and so, yeah, so his name's Captain,
Wait,
and
why would
Captain's
he
doing
do
well
that?
too. I don't know, cause Captain had a little air tag on his collar, and so I would see Captain all the time, and I thought he was a community cat, and so I would feed him, be like, "Oh, okay, you're here for your food." And then
Mm.
my neighbor, she was like, "Hey, have you seen my cat? The air tag's near your house." And then I was like, "Wait, what?" And then I realized, yeah, that was just her cat. That was just her cat
Oh
who
my
just
gosh.
would leave and then would, snag his collar off and just really give the appearance of, "Oh, I'm so hungry," even though he, had a house and,
Oh my gosh, that's his hustle. What
yeah,
a hustle.
he's in that little spread too. There's Murphy and Captain and the peacocks and everyone is in that little spread too. But yeah, he's doing well too. And I think they're rebuilding, so hopefully Captain will be back home hopefully sometime later this year.
Great. I'm so happy to hear that people are starting to rebuild.
Yeah. Yeah. No, we're all starting to come together. It'll be a little bit, but I think we're all really eager to get back.
Yeah. Oh, that's so exciting. I'm so
Yeah.
happy for you and your family
Thank
and for
you.
Murphy
And for
getting
Murphy
her
and a great
catio.
patio. Oh my god, Murphy's upgrade. It's coming.
Yes. She planned this all along. She's
He
like, "You
planned
know
that. Oh
what? If I have to
my
burn
god.
it down to get a catio, I
Appreciate
will."
you know.
She planned it.
Oh my gosh. Murphy's coming out on top.
Right? She's getting what she wants.
Exactly.
So, do you have any, favorite cat artists that you follow or, animals or just cats?
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Cat artist. I really so there's one her name's Beth Spencer. I really love
Okay.
her style cuz it's also kind of very illustrative and the way I met her is there was another artist who was putting on kind of these Zoom drawing and sketching sessions. And so she now kind of puts on similar sessions too. I think it's called Introverts Drawing Club, and so she'll put out these sessions where you can draw with her, and something that she really likes doing is going to a local zoo and kind of just sitting there and sketching the animals, and I really love her style. I really love her work, so you definitely give Beth Spencer a look. Another cat artist I'm actually wearing her shirt. So right here
Oh!
it's my friend Rose, so she runs an account called Catscapes cats, and she does these really sweet comics and line drawings of cats, and she actually does a lot of work with Poet Square cats. I don't know if you're familiar with them, but they're
Oh, I'm
like
not familiar.
yeah, so Poet Square Cats is basically this account. They're in either so Rose and the owner of Poet Square Cats, they're both in Arizona, and basically this woman, I think the story with Poet Square Cats is she bought this house, and there's just this like huge community of cats that would always frequent her house, and so she like takes care of them. She's also really involved with TNR in the area, and just
Oh, okay.
does a lot of really wonderful work, and I think she just came out with a book on it, and so, yeah, I love and so Rose will often, like, does not only do her own designs, but design, like, little designs of the cats that, like, are part of the Poet Square cat community. So, love her work. Her work's called Catscapes Cats. She's also a mom. She also has, like, a young
Oh,
son.
okay.
So it's also nice to kind of have another artist mom to kind of talk with. And then lastly, I have oh my gosh, like this has been such an incredible story where there's this artist, her name's Heidi Moreno, and I've just always admired her. And she wrote a book called Working from Home with Cats, which is a really like funny book of like how cats like just like get on your laptop.
Yeah.
Um, but what's been so fun is like, oh my gosh, like she was I mean, she still is like an artist that I really admire, like, and through just like community and like social media, I've also like gotten to know her. She's also written children's books. Actually, one of my son's favorite books. It's called Luna Oscura. She wrote that,
Mm,
and she's just such a wonderful and nice person. Like when I was doing this peacock project, I reached out to her because both her and we paint kind of what we call analog style. So just actually like
mm,
stuff on paper versus making digital art. And so she gave me like a lot
yeah.
of wonderful tips on that. And she actually has um an exhibition coming up in Silmar on I think oh gosh, I think it's on the 7th that it opens, and it's just like this really beautiful exhibition that she's doing on a bat and a bat that just didn't feel understood in his home and about his story.
Oh,
It's called Monte Clemente and His Story, and it's at this place called Tia Chucha's Centro Cultural in Silmar. And so I'm hoping to go to the opening there, and I just love her work. I love how storytelling. I love her art style, and it's pretty cool to get to kind of like become friends with one of your art idols. And so
yeah.
yeah, such a wonderful person and so helpful, and I'm just so excited to continue seeing her work and supporting her.
So I'm gonna definitely have to look that up
Yeah,
because that sounds
yeah.
like a really great book.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and her book, Luna Score is really great. Like, I've been reading it to my son since he was, oh my gosh, like 2 months, and then it was so sweet
Yeah.
because like, we randomly ran into her in downtown LA, and it was so sweet because I was telling my son, like, "Hey, she wrote this book," and then he started telling her the story, and he was like, "Did you know this happened?" And
That's so cute.
I wrote it. It was just so cute where he was like,
He's
"And it was
like,
a
I
black cat, and
know.
it did that," and it was so sweet to see him talk about it like that with her.
Well, this has been such a great
Oh, thank
conversation. I wish we
you.
could talk forever about cats. Where can people get in touch with you if they would like to see more of your work or they would like to commission a portrait of their cat?
So my brand is called Srimoyee Handmade, so it's my first name and then handmade, and that's like that's the website for it, and that's also the Instagram for it. So yeah, you can find me there, and yeah, my commissions are open. So if you want to get a cat portrait, you can find it on my web store, or you can just like message or email me, and I would love to paint something for you.
Amazing. Thank you so much again
Thank
for
you,
being on this
Krista. Thank you so much for
podcast.
having me.
And good luck, best of luck with the catio for Murphy and all
Sure.
the
Sure,
rebuilding.
sure. We'll keep you posted on that. I'm excited for Murphy's upgraded accommodations.
Well, that wraps up our episode for today. Thank you so much to our guest, Srimoyee, and the amazing cat meow appearance by Murphy. You can stalk us on all social platforms at My Cat Calling and listen to us wherever you get your podcasts. If you would like to show your support for our indie podcast, you can subscribe to our channel or leave a comment or share this episode with the cat lover in your life. Thank you so much for listening. We love you.